The views expressed in this podcast are that of ours alone. Any opposing opinions on our behalf are not to discredit or belittle the listener's opinion, but only to pose another perspective or point of view, respectively. What's happening? Welcome to Parameters Podcast. I'm your host, Steelo GQ,
And I'm your co-host, Black Dev.
and welcome to episode 4 of the podcast. Thank you, everybody, for listening to episodes 1, 2, and 3. We really appreciate it. They are currently available now on iTunes, Google Play, and SoundCloud. Check us out.
Yeah. So we just had Mother's Day that passed. So shout out to the beautiful mothers. We gonna let the mothers be our sponsor this time. You know what I'm saying?
I love you, Ma. If you listening.
my mom ain't got the internet, so she ain't gonna never hear this. But most definitely love to the mothers out there.
Yes,
So
absolutely, absolutely. Thank you, mothers. We love y'all.
and of
So, go ahead.
oh, I was just gonna say, you already know what time it is. It's time for them Jam Transits headphones. Who who else is banging like Jam Transits? Yeah,
Jam
exactly.
Transit.
Yeah, to think about that, yeah, Jam Transits. They got that Beats quality for half the price. Got that Bluetooth, all of that, man.
Check out them Jam Transits, man. The unofficial sponsor of the Parameters Podcast. Also, ladies and gentlemen, you can check us out on parameterscast.com, the official website. There are instructions on there how to join, register. We appreciate if you would leave your perspective, leave your comments, just give us some type of feedback on what you think. Also, catch us on Instagram, Twitter, and Facebook. We are there live and live in color. Look us up. We're there. Thank you for everyone who has been supporting. We really appreciate it. You're podcasting with the best. Parameters Podcast. Yeah.
Yeah.
So, tonight, episode 4, the topic will be, should celebrities get involved in social issues? We've had this up posted for a lot of our brackets to check out. Got a little bit of feedback.
And
And
it,
tonight, go ahead.
I was
Sorry.
gonna say, it's more so should they speak out, you
Should
know?
should they speak out?
Because it is a difference between a celebrity actually going to somewhere and doing something. You know what I'm saying? There's some celebrities do that, you know, go to places and get involved, and some celebrities speaking their opinion on stuff publicly.
Yes. So should celebrities speak out on social issues is our topic on tonight. And we do have a special guest with us. You can catch him on the critically acclaimed Golden Globe Award winning show Atlanta. You can also check him out on City of Lost Slaves and 2 projects in which he has produced himself, The Contract and Black and Blue. We got our man Armie Hicks Jr. with us tonight.
What up,
What
Army?
up? What up? What up? What up? What's going on, fellas?
What's up, man?
What's up?
Appreciate you being on tonight, man. Thanks a lot.
Yeah,
Appreciate y'all having me on, man. It's a pleasure.
I I met Army. Army, we collabed together on one of my projects, Smurd TV, the critically acclaimed 2 episode season on Amazon.
Right.
That's gonna make the greatest comeback ever. And
Yes.
yeah, no, we worked together on some sketches, man. Definitely, man, professional guy, man. Like I'm really inspired by this guy. Just meeting him, I've known him in a short time, but just being a part of some of his stuff, and he came out and supported me on when I did my comedy and stand up and stuff like that. Like he came out, you know. So real good dude, man. This is the future right here, man. I can definitely see it in Army. So I appreciate you coming on the show, bro.
For sure, man. Big ups, man. Big ups to Smart Life, man. We was in the trenches together, man. Working,
Yeah.
working it out.
Smart
Yes.
life.
Climbing through windows.
Crazy, right?
Yeah, man. That was good times, man.
And Smur is still on Amazon. Just trying to
Yeah,
plug it a little bit.
Smart
Smur
TV.
TV. Smur TV, ladies and gentlemen, check it out. So, should these celebrities speak out on these social issues? Man, got a lot of different opinions on our social medias. Uh, kind of just want to get Army. I know you've been um you've been in the industry a lot, and you've seen a lot of different people. You've rubbed shoulders with a lot of different celebrities. I mean, you even an upcoming one yourself. So, I mean, as far as how do you feel about when celebrities speak on these issues? Do you think it's going to be a hindrance, or you think it is important or impactful? What's your take? I know
Uh,
that's a little broad, but if you kind of elaborate a little bit.
got you. I definitely believe that someone with the platform to reach a mass number of people should definitely speak out. The key is what we've been seeing though lately is we got a bunch of buffoons with, with these audiences. Like we got people coming out and making these absolutely ridiculous claims, which then allows people to people sort of take to that. Like, well, well, such and such said this, so it must be true. When you're in that position of power, man, you have tremendous influence, and you have to use that wisely, very wisely. Morgan Freeman came out recently and said something about the fact that he doesn't believe race plays a role in people ascending because he ascended. And I'm like, true, you did, but you got to realize everyone's experience is different.
Right.
Everyone's background is different. You might have been afforded opportunities that your fellow mate wasn't afforded because of the way you walked or talked or spoke or who somebody in your family knew. So you got to be careful, and you got to realize that when you're in this position that you are part of a minority, and a minority that struggles, and take it upon yourself to be a vessel, a voice for the voiceless. You know what I'm saying? And that's my whole campaign, man. It's like, yeah, you might have made it up by your bootstraps. So everybody's not in that similar position. You know what I'm saying? So
right.
Go ahead and speak out for the people who can't defend themselves, or for the people that can't articulate what they're going to these other audiences.
Do you consider him a buffoon for saying that?
Not a buffoon. I wouldn't classify him that, but it's like, dude, like you got to realize like how many people are going to take to what he said. Mm-hmm. So then for every other black person they may meet in life who's like, man, being black, dude, like, I had the same resume as this guy, we had the same qualifications, same standards, yet, my resume was better, blah, blah, blah. He got the job over me. People are like, well, Morgan Freeman did it. Morgan Freeman doesn't think race. You know what I'm saying? That becomes a argument then against them. It's like, well, I don't really believe what you're saying because Morgan Freeman did it. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
And that's surprising coming from Morgan Freeman, considering, respectively his age. He witnessed a lot of things. So it's weird to hear him even say anything like that. That's right. Odd to me.
Being where he's from. He's from like Mississippi or something, Alabama.
Right.
And but here's another thing that I say too, and it's almost like when you get into this world, the world that I live in Los Angeles currently, and you realize that we make up a very, very small portion of the people in this industry. So we're around white people all the time, and we're constantly assimilating to them, and constantly, you get into this space where you kind of forget, like a bubble almost, about where you came from and the struggle that people like you have to deal with, because you become, they're like, oh yeah, you're my black friend, you're good type thing, like things become a little easier for you when you're in that sector, and you start to forget about the trials and tribulations you had before you made it into that bubble. You know what I'm saying? And a lot of people like him, a lot of people with money, Lil Wayne, we've seen it with Lil Wayne and Stacey Dash, these people when they
yes.
Like, you have been in this bubble for so long that you have forgotten about real life and the things that, that you had to do, maybe, or maybe not had to do, but the things that a lot of people like me are having experienced still. You know what I'm saying? you can't lose that perspective. You got to go outside sometimes. You know what I'm saying? You gotta leave Beverly Hills, Mr. Freeman, and go down to South Central and, and
Right.
see how people are really living in life. You get what I'm saying?
Yeah, man. I'm sorry about that, Black Dev.
Okay.
Bringing that up, it reminds me of me and Black Dev were having a conversation, and I was telling him how ASAP Rocky had made a comment about when the whole thing in Ferguson was going on. He was like, "I don't want to talk about Ferguson, because I don't live over there. I live in Soho and Beverly Hills. I can't relate." I was like, "Wow." Like just that blatant with it, man. Like he didn't even. It's like no interest. I'm not there. I'm not around it. I don't care. I mean, that was his take on that issue.
Right.
Like that's insane to me, man. That kind of goes along with what you were saying. Like
Yeah.
can't
You
become detached.
where are you originally from, Army?
I'm from Raleigh, North Carolina.
From Raleigh.
And I'm from the south side of Raleigh, North Carolina. You know, where it's a little rougher. Where there's a few project housing developments where you're not gonna find a Chick-fil-A.
Yeah.
There's you're gonna see liquor stores and you're gonna see McDonald's. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
So coming from that, seeing the inequities between the south side of Raleigh versus the north side of Raleigh, you start to realize, as a young child, that things are not equal. You know what
Right.
I'm saying? That opportunity and environment are very crucial to a child's development in their upbringing, because you take a lot of, like, I know people on the south side that's never been across New Bern Avenue. That's never
Mhm.
been to the other side of town, and they take solace in that. Like they will literally like that. That's like, nah, like I ain't never been over there, and I'm good. You're like, what? You know what I'm saying? And then on the flip end, though, you got people on the north side that's never been to the south side.
Yeah.
They're like, yeah, I just traveled to France. I just got back from Europe. Yeah, I would, so perspective is lost on both ends.
Yeah.
Right.
That reminds us of something. That reminds me of back home. That's crazy just hearing that, from a different area. How segregated it is.
Yeah.
Yeah.
It's crazy. I was going to ask you, Army. Do you think it's cowardly of or it's selfish of a lot of these celebrities to shy away from issues because they're afraid of it being career ending or career damaging, even though it is a very, very important or an issue that probably should be spoke out about?
In my personal, I'm very I'm torn between this answer, because personally, I get it. You know what I'm saying? I totally understand why LeBron would only put one toe in when he speaks. When he speaks on these issues, like I totally get why he doesn't go full commando on these issues, because yes, you do have these sponsors and all this money riding on the line. But personally, for me, I'm a man of integrity, and sometimes like the dollars don't rule me. You know
Yeah.
what I'm saying? You know what I'm saying? So it's like me, I have a mission, and it's part of my brand, and it's part of what I intend to do is to bring light and shed light and create discourse and conversation on the injustices and the inequities that we face.
Yeah.
So personally, yes, I think it's cowardly. But on the other hand, I do understand if you choose not to, because a lot of times, it's no, no one can, being a celebrity, no one can force you to be a social act. Like, you don't have to be. Like, that's
Right.
totally by choice. If you choose to, awesome. You know what I'm saying? If you choose not to, that's great. That's your totally American choice. That's your right. Do you. You know what I'm saying? Exactly. But if you're gonna speak, just speak for, and for a good cause, man. Just make sure you're well educated, and you understand that what you say is gonna reach so many people, and that's gonna have a profound effect on so many people. So it should be from a place of activism, if you are. You know what I'm saying? Like for ASAP Rocky to make that comment, that's just, come on, dude, just do better. You know what I'm saying? Just be like, no
Right.
comment or something. You know what I'm saying? That could have been simple as that, no comment.
Yeah. I was watching maybe about a couple months ago. Um the OJ Simpson documentary, the real popular one. OJ Made in America, and at the time, OJ was like the biggest celebrity on the freaking planet. And at the time there were a lot of things going on. You know, you had the Muhammad Ali. You had a lot of different people taking stances. And I remember, in particular, them asking OJ about it. And OJ would not speak on it. I don't want people to see me as black or white. I wanted people to see me as OJ. Uh, so I mean, and the thing about it is, man, he actually, with him shying away from the social issues, and they were huge issues going on. I mean, he continued to become successful and even more successful, and it helped him cross over, but it did damage his reputation with
The black community.
the black community, right? So, I mean, I guess at the end of the day, it does depend on what's more important to you. Is it the money, the prestige, the popularity, or is it making a difference in the world? So
I wanted to bring up just for subject matter. The subject is not. I know we're naturally inclined to talk about like black leader celebrities and stuff like that, but I did a little bit of research on just in general
yeah,
some other type of celebrities that spoke out, and I mean, this is to me is crazy, but I mean, just looking at this kind of turned me off to a lot of them. But like for instance, Chuck Norris. So Chuck Norris, man, he's so when Obama came into office, he was so anti-Obama. He was trying to get Texas to succeed from the secular government. Like,
wow,
you know what I'm saying? Like, prior to reading all this stuff, like, I had no issues with Chuck Norris. You know what I'm saying? I used to watch his stuff back in the day and stuff like that. But, like, looking at it, like, his views, and he even writes for some type of like online news thing or something like that. He writes or whatever since 2006. Like, but he's really Republican, really right wing, and I don't know how it is. From what I read, they said in L.A. is really like left wing, just open,
Yeah, it's
gay
very, very,
marriage,
very progressive here.
yeah. So like they said that hurt his reputation or whatever for hurt his Chuck Norris's reputation, but he's just to see that it's like people feel that strongly about it. But even Trump was a celebrity before he was president, but he was a registered Democrat in 2008, and he changed over to Republican just for Obama because he was that much anti-Obama, and you
Right.
saw what he tried to do to his legacy. So stuff like that. It's some other stuff like one of the hosts from the Man Show. I can't remember his name right offhand, but he has a podcast, and he says something about some in regards to gays. He says something about since when did we start caring about them, or transgender. He said, he just blatantly said that. He said, when did we as a society start caring about them or whatever, and then he got backlash for that. But in what perspective, like, are you right or wrong for your opinion on stuff like that when it comes down
Everybody,
to it?
everybody's entitled to an opinion. You know what I'm
Mhm.
saying? And right or wrong, that's your opinion. You can always, we have the First Amendment in the United States. Freedom of speech. You can say whatever the hell you want to say, and that's the beauty of it. But there are consequences for what you say.
yes, that's
What I'm
true.
saying? There are consequences. You can say whatever you want, but just be prepared for whatever consequences come with it. You know what I'm saying? Whether it be positive or negative. So
And
that's what.
and I don't know if you knew or remember like the Dixie Chicks. This is a crazy turnaround when they spoke out against Bush.
I remember that.
Yeah,
It's very
so
interesting. Yeah, I remember
yeah,
that.
so that is interesting to see that when they spoke out against Bush, how their career was shunned after that. How country music you know what I'm saying, how their career went downhill after that. That was not, that was them speaking up, but that was like that whole genre of music and those, that type of listener, like those people were like not feeling it to the point that they weren't accepted. But when Kanye West said something about Bush, it was totally acceptable. It was totally Kanye. Totally, you know what I'm saying,
Right.
justified. So that, like, stuff like that, like, it to me it doesn't make sense. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah, there's always going to be inequities in what people, because people love and people hate Kanye West. Like he received a lot of backlash when he actually came out and said Bush doesn't like black
Black
people.
people. Yeah.
You know what I'm saying? He received a lot of backlash, but the thing is, he was able to bounce back. And every time, like Kanye makes so many verbal blunders, but he bounces back. You know what I'm saying? Like it doesn't blacklist him, and sometimes it matters on the level of superstar that you are. Like Bill
True.
Clinton cheated on his wife, and the Clintons bounced back, and it just all depends on who you are and your stature.
And also depends on how you go about it. I was saying earlier about how you got some celebrities will speak on social issues creatively. Like you got your Marvin Gaye's with what's going on. You got your Michael Jacksons, "We Are the World." You got huge songs. You got Stevie Wonder, and all the different songs that he came up with that were that were socially aware. I think a lot of times, and I think a lot of times people are also afraid for their celebrities to speak on social issues because they have a image of them. So it's like your favorite. It's like meeting your favorite celebrity and then they're a jerk. You know, it's like you don't want them because I was reading a website and it was saying I don't want my celebrities speaking on social issues. And I was reading more into it and it was like, yeah, because you have a way that you feel about them and a way that you think about them. So when they come out and say something contrary to how you feel or that's out the aura, that myth uh mythological aura that you've given them, it messes you up because you adore them. So I think a lot of times people don't want their celebrities to speak on stuff because of that as well. So
Exactly, and I can totally wholeheartedly feel them with that. But at the end of the day, you know what I'm saying? Like there's marketing teams, there's PR teams, there's branding. Like when you have your specific brand as an artist, like it's not just sometimes just one person's decision. This goes through a lot of different hands and a lot of different decision makers, and people are all right. Look, listen, for your brand, we need to say this, we need to endorse this, or you need to say this, or you can't say this, you can't endorse that. So at the end of the day, it all depends on the artist's core values. How
yes,
do you feel, and how strongly would you fight for your values, and or how strongly would you want to align your values with your celebrity status? You know what I'm
right,
saying? And like great example is Jesse Williams, the kid from I hope that's his name.
Yeah,
From,
yeah.
yeah, Jesse Williams, yeah,
from Grey's Anatomy. Like a part of his brand is now being this social activist, and it hasn't hurt him really yet. You know what I'm saying? Like he's able to move and still speak out against these things, and I'm doing the same thing through my art, through my lens, through my camera, through the stories I'm telling, through my voice, through my social media. People put, like, being on this podcast, you put that mic in front of my face, I'm gonna keep it real.
Yeah.
And
right,
I'm gonna give you that 100% cold hard truth, Roof. You know what I'm saying? Ain't no way around it.
Yeah.
absolutely, man.
So do you look at it as like a job? Cause like at my real job, anyways, at my real job, like we have to sign all these clauses where we can't go on social media and say certain stuff. Anything that will, bash the company or anything like that. We can't go on social media and do that. And then also in school, they want you to have a certain presence on social media as well, because people look at that, like jobs and other things look at that as well. So it's almost like, even though it's your personal space, it's like you're still limited to what you can say. So do you look at celebrities and say, well, they don't speak out because they have clauses, they can't, they can't speak out against CBS if they got a show on CBS, even though they know CBS has got some BS behind the, you know what I'm saying?
Right.
Yeah, I don't think there's an actual clause, but it's probably an unwritten thing. You know what I'm saying? Like you take Dave Chappelle for instance. You
Mm-hmm.
know, it's like we saw what happened to him when he started speaking up. You know what I'm saying? Like
Yeah.
he had, when the biggest contract deals out, and sometimes it's kind of unwritten, man, and it's unfair that when you start to delve into this realm of speaking up and speaking out, sometimes you are punished for this. You know what I'm saying? And it's unfortunate, but like I said, like where you saw he bounced back, came back, got another insanely hugely deal. He's making a lot of money still to this day. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
So it all depends on what are you willing to sacrifice for this. And me, I'll sacrifice everything because how selfish is that for me to have everything and me to sit it and watch everyone else suffer.
Mm-hmm.
You know what I'm saying? When you know there's people out there that can't get to where you're going, it's like if you're in a position, what I'm saying, I can make that sacrifice for the next generation. You know what I'm
Yeah.
saying? That's just how selfless I am. A lot of people that's all it really comes down to is selflessness. Like how many people are willing to give up what they have or even have the belief that if something is taken away from me, I can get it back. You know what I'm saying? I don't need studios. Like Warner Brothers, if you guys want to blackball me or because I'm speaking out, or CBS, you don't want to hire me for your show, I'm creating my own content.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying? I'm creating everything on my own. Like I have my own brand. Like I have the power of myself. You can say the same thing about being in a job. You're working at a job, and they may be I don't need this job because I
Yeah.
know that I can go out here and make money, and I can go out here and create it for myself and for my family. And that's kind of the leap of faith I had to take when I first moved to LA too. Because I worked for Nike, I worked for Time Warner Cable. I worked for a lot of
Yeah.
jobs. And like I didn't fit in
Right.
at these places because of how vocal I was, or because of how much of an individual and how much belief I had in myself. So I was able to sacrifice that, you know what I'm saying, and to put myself in a position where now I am my own boss, I am my own brand, I can do what I want.
Mm-hmm.
Freedom, I have that luxury to know that it's all on me. You know what I'm saying? If I say something and some backlash comes, I'm ready for the consequence. I
Right.
deal with it as a man. I'll look it right in the eye and I'm handling it. You know what I'm saying?
So that brings me to I know when there were the protests here in Charlotte, you were a part of that for the Black Lives Matter.
yes.
So I know you were a part of that experience. When that was going on, like, were you consciously thinking like, the should I be as vocal? Is this a good look? Could this, or were
Right.
you just thinking at that time you were just in the moment?
No, I that was planned.
Mm-hmm.
As soon as I got wind, I was actually the first night was the Wednesday night. I remember
Yeah.
this clear thing. Wednesday night, I'm sitting in acting class, and I was in there surrounded by a bunch of my peers, majority of whom are white, and
Yeah.
the news broke, and I started getting alerts and such about a protest, and I knew at that moment where I was going after class.
Mm-hmm.
You know,
Wow. Yeah.
I knew exactly what I was gonna do. So I let them know. I'm like, guys, this is what I'm doing. And they're like, be safe out there. You shouldn't go. Don't do it. That's silly. Blah 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 blah. But I can't hear that because I have a mission. I have a goal. I have a duty to my people. You feel me? So
Yeah.
when I went out there and I started broadcasting live, of course, what you start seeing under the comments is, or people calling you like, hey man, you shouldn't be doing that because these white people gonna be watching you, man, and they're not gonna want to hire you because you're out here. And I'm like, dude, I don't care. You know what I'm saying? But to me, this is more important.
Okay.
A man being killed in the streets,
Yeah.
and a cop getting, being found not guilty. You know, that's what matters to me.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying?
Now, with you, rubbing shoulders with a lot of different people in the industry, um, what's how do you find some of them, all of them, none of them to be authentic? What's the authenticity like? I mean, or can you tell?
In
Um,
terms of
it- the um, I guess just the way they, not professional wise, but the ones you've spoken to personally, like, are they genuine, authentic, with the things that I don't know if you spoke with them about their views, but just about, I mean, I guess just personality wise.
um,
You could start with Childish Gambino if you like to.
You knew that was coming, right?
yeah, Donald, Donald, Donald is super real, super genuine, super nice. Like Donald keeps it. You can tell the fame does not affect him in that way, where he feels, like the arrogant type, or like he wants to make everyone feel inclusive. He wants to make sure that everyone's having a good time. Like being on set was a blast working on Atlanta because he cultivated and fostered that environment. You know what I'm saying? Versus being on other sets where, you got certain actors that are like, don't talk to me, don't look at me. You know what I'm saying? Don't eat in the same room as me. You know what I'm saying? Like literally, these are words I've heard. You know what I'm saying?
Wow,
So,
man.
you know what I'm saying? Like you start to realize that celebrities, they are put on these pedestals, especially actors, and they act that way.
Mm.
You know what I'm saying? Like we oftentimes we sit back and we love to critique them about how they act and stuff, but we also, in the same token, put them in these positions to act that way. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
By
Yes.
That's
worshiping
true.
worshiping them in godlike manners. Like I can't even fathom being like a Justin Bieber, like going outside of my house and have 50,000 girls yelling and fainting, or like Chris Brown. You know what I'm saying? We like, damn, how could you punch a girl? I'm like, man, this probably thinks he can do whatever the hell he wants because he does. You know what I'm saying? Like,
Yeah.
you get pulled over by the cops and you're like, oh, I'm such and such. Oh man, I love your show, man. Go ahead and take off, man. It's all good. You know what I'm saying?
Mm-hmm.
Like you kind of you start living in this bubble again, and you start feeling above everyone and above the law. And there's a lot of celebrities that live like that. Now, granted, there's a lot that are very humble, and I've met a lot of very humble people worth 200, 500 million dollars or on TV and stuff, and they're just like, the same as you and I. Like they put on their pants one leg at a time, and they're very cool and chill. But you do have those types. It's like, I'm the talent, everything revolves around me, and that's the bottom line.
Man, I really love to see when you got humongous celebrities that speak out that remain humble. I was scrolling online and just noticing. I noticed I was looking at like some top celebrity protesters, and just so happened I ran across John Lennon from the Beatles. Dude,
Mm.
the Beatles was so huge, man, and they like. I love to see like the mega stars speak out, man, because that's so powerful to me, man. Like you were saying, a lot of us, we put these celebrities on these pedestals and make them have like this godlike, like they're godlike beings. Um, but for them to be so huge, like your Michael Jacksons and stuff, to really just to speak, man, that's amazing to me. And I guess the fact that they got that clout and that power is why they do it. I mean, because at that point in your career, you can't really. I mean, it'll make or break you. Well, it can't really make or break. I mean, these people so big, man. It has to be something very
I
like
feel I feel like
detri-
with Michael Jackson and all them, that was like a different
different
era
era.
though, and where they came from, Marvin Gaye and all of them. Cause at that time, I feel like there was more of a social consciousness because they came out from segregation, integration, all that stuff like that. So it was
True.
more of a community at that time. I remember my grandparents telling me even in Roanoke and Henry Street, they'd be like, Marvin Gaye came through. All these big celebrities. James Brown was here. Just on him. In that area, but yet they weren't allowed to go downtown, which was like a street. You know what I'm saying?
Yes.
So
And
it's I think it's a different time. I don't know as far as them
we need
making music.
back to that time. Like we need that because
Yeah.
history repeats itself, man. Like I literally, I literally was involved in a protest, right? And where we saw black cops shoot and kill a black man, and they be found not guilty. A protest, National Guard being called in, curfews, people being locked up left and right. I went to a premiere out here last week to watch the 25th anniversary of the Rodney King riots that happened in LA.
Mhm.
And it brought so much the feeling that I got watching that event take place, which happened 25 years ago. I mean, the events unfolded the same exact way. I saw the same images of the police,
Wow.
the National Guard, people being arrested and zip tied and pepper sprayed and it's like we have to remember that we are still fighting a war here. We have gotten way too comfortable in America as black people because we've had a few people rise up like a LeBron James or a Michael Jordan. We got a
Yeah.
few people with money, but we still are at the bottom in terms of money in this country. You know what I'm saying? Like, we still are at the bottom in terms of education and opportunity, and we can't let that. You know what I'm saying? We see things happen, and then a day later, people are back to making Twitter jokes again. It's like, no,
Yeah.
we got the fight has not stopped. You know what I'm saying? It's just in different forms. The warfare has just changed. You know what I'm saying? We need to get back to that sense of community and that togetherness and that fighting for one another that we had back then, and that social, more and more black people speaking. And I feel like we're entering an age though where we're starting to see it. We have shows like Shots Fired and Get Out and other movies now that are starting to bring light to these things, and we're starting to see
I agree.
a cultural shift because we got a lot of black people over 30 35 in this industry that are so used to shucking and jiving for these white dollars, man, and stuff. It's ridiculous, dude. So it's up to us, the millennial generation, to really come together and start this new civil rights movement. I wouldn't even call it a civil rights movement. I would call it a human rights movement because we
Right.
gotta encompass Latinos, Asians, and trans, lesbian, gay, women. Like we're fighting for everybody. It's not just for blacks. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
Like
That's true, man.
we're doing this for everybody now. You know what I'm saying? We're doing this for we're all encompassing. You know what I'm saying? And being a black minority, of course, number one, Black Lives Matter because I am black. But the same token is like we are doing this for all lives still. You know what I'm saying? But
Right.
a lot of people confuse those statements.
Yeah.
They very confuse those statements. So
What do you feel about that Pepsi commercial?
that was a load of crap.
Okay.
That
So do you
commercial was a
feel
load of crap.
do you feel like why do you feel that?
It's almost pompous in belief when you're sitting back. You got a group of white people on the marketing board, and they're thinking, okay, let's think about this. Okay, how can we show what we're trying to show here? Oh yeah, Pepsi, we can cure racism. They can. When there's people out here really dying for this shit and really out here going through this. You think a can is supposed to be the symbol of hope and peace? Come on, dude. You could have did a much better job, a much more thoughtful way of showing what you want to show than
But it comes to show you that the people who wrote that don't have a full understanding. They don't take it as serious as it needs to be taken, because if they did, they would have thought more into it. It seemed like it was poorly planned, obviously. Um and poorly executed. So
Yeah. And I mean, you see that all the time, dude. In this industry, man, I get auditions all the time, and it's like, oh, black hip guy on the corner, and you read the script, and you're like, who wrote this? You like,
Yeah.
there's no way you had any African Americans on your staff.
right.
And
Oh yeah.
or if they are on your staff, they don't understand black culture themselves because it's like, what? Like who? Like you know what I'm saying? You start to realize that it's when you don't have a connection to a certain demographic, like how can you tell their stories? Or how can you tell what they're going through? Like I'm not about to sit here, I'm not about to write a movie about a white woman's experience. I
Right.
don't know shit about it. You know what I'm saying? Like, or I'm gonna do some extensive, heavy research and have bring a bunch of white women in from all sorts of walks of life, not just a certain demographic, but
Yeah.
lower class, middle class, ones that's been gone through this, ones that's gone to that, ones that's graduated. Like, you have to have an all-encompassing view.
That
You know,
you're exactly right. That's why I think like now the way the world is, even though we are experiencing a lot of the racism that was experienced years ago, but at the same time, in a lot of aspects, we've progressed in that area. That's why I think that it's important that those of us who have relationships, um, diverse relationships, we spark dialogue. We start to get an understanding of one another because with understanding and us knowing who each other really are, that's the only way we can really make things better. And that's the thing. People don't talk enough. People have lost the conversation, man. They hide behind social media. They spew hate through social media. No one conversates. It's
Mm-hmm.
important. It's important as blacks, whites, Latinos, gays, lesbians, all races, that we in all preferences and everything, that we all speak to each other. We talk, man. We understand, because it's killing us, man, by not having an understanding of one another. We have to speak. We have to talk. We have to really learn one another.
right? You have to really want to.
Yeah.
Yeah.
You, there's a lot of people I talk to on a daily basis, who don't want to hear it. Like, no matter, you can give them facts, like straight up black and white. There's no arguing this facts, and they'll still have a rebuttal. And it's like, what? Like, you know what I'm saying?
Yeah,
It's
that's
Yeah.
crazy.
and
Yeah.
and you start to realize that what people believe is what they believe. You know what I'm saying? Like, you can't, when someone fully, this is their belief. Like if someone is this devout Christian, you're not about to walk up to them and convert them to Islam. You know what I'm saying?
Right.
Like,
Mm-hmm.
but what we can do is, like you said, have conversation and agree to disagree and learn to respect our differences. And that's the key. Like, if you want to be if you want to hate blacks, cool, I respect that. Good, but don't go do that in your own walk of life. Don't hurt nobody. Respect black people, though. Like, if you don't have to like us, but what you will not do is, you will not kill us. You will
Mm-hmm.
not uh you will not discriminate against us. You know what I'm saying? Like, and that's fine. Like, you know what I'm saying? Like, if somebody wants to believe whatever, hey man, aliens exist. Cool, that's cool. I respect that. But I'm not gonna come at you any type of way, or treat you differently because that's what you do. And that's the key. It's like having a level
Yep.
of love and respect for your brother, because we don't all have to agree. We don't all have to have the same beliefs, and you know it's whatever. You know what I'm saying? That's the American right. That's a human right. You can think whatever you want to, believe whatever you want to, but when you how you think and believe starts to affect people, that's when it's an issue for me.
Right. I'm
That's when
with you, man. I'm with you 100%, man. I totally agree. If you do what you want to do, you feel how you want to feel, I'm totally cool with it. I'm not going to discriminate. I'm not going to think a certain way. You do you, I'll do me. We'll agree to disagree. You know what I'm saying? Long as you're not hurting me, I'm not hurting you. It's all good, man. I totally agree with that.
right.
100%.
So I want to bring up something right quick because we're running close to the end. But so I asked you about the Pepsi thing because one of the major things that bothered me about that is everybody wanted to stop drinking Pepsi after that. Like they wanted to boycott it, all the stuff like that, Like that was it. But like then you look at the NFL and Colin Kaepernick,
Oh man.
and everybody has an excuse why it doesn't matter what he did. It doesn't matter. We gonna watch football. People gonna watch football anyways. And I
It's a
feel
great
like
point.
that's a more serious matter than a Pepsi commercial. But everybody was down to stop drinking Pepsi, probably because everybody didn't drink Pepsi anyway. You know what I'm saying? Like that's not something that but we get into football. So that's taking away something that black people like. So we got a
And that
blind eye.
exactly. And that is the answer to it, is like you care more about the product than you do about your morals and your what you line your values with. And sadly, but true, humans, we're all motivated by selfish desires and what suits our intrinsic, internal desires. Like we're all prisoners to that at times. You know what I'm saying? So you see a lot of that. This is in my best interest. I love NFL. And I don't care that this is a new type of slavery. I don't care that they're discriminating against Colin Kaepernick because he spoke out. I'm still going to watch and support it anyway. You know,
Yeah, man, that's true.
it's crazy.
That bothers me. So in that respect, like, did he do it in vain? Like, you know what I'm saying? It's almost like when that's a case where you get a celebrity that stands up for you, and he got blacklisted. It didn't work in his case, but it didn't do like black people. It didn't like matter at the end of the
Well,
day.
the thing about it, man, if he reached one person, then I'm sure he feels like he's done his
Bingo.
duty.
Hmm.
Bingo.
So, I mean, at the end of the day, it doesn't when it's for the cause, yes, there's power in numbers, but at the same time, you don't have to be moved by the masses. Long as you impacted that one person's life. If you like Tupac said, if he can just spark the mind, he may not change the world, but he wants to spark the mind of someone who will. So I mean, with Colin Kaepernick, I'm sure if he got through to one person, he's
Yeah.
happy. And it's unfortunate what happened to him, man, because I know people don't like, it's a sensitive subject and people have they have their opinions, but I think that, for those who call Colin Kaepernick uh said that he's committing treason and he's uh not American,
Disrespectful.
disrespectful. I think it's more American to protest because that is our constitutional right to
Boom.
protest.
Exactly.
So we can that's American.
Right. And it becomes this thing where it becomes this contradiction, because these same folks that are screaming that were the same ones that when Obama took office, he's not my president.
Hmm.
Bullshit. Remember that? Same people
Yes.
you see
Hmm.
was screaming that are now that we have Trump, they're like, oh no, what are you going against Trump? You're not American. Like he's your president. You got to respect him. Like, but just 6 months ago, you were screaming to the death that
Yeah.
Obama wasn't your president. So what are you saying? And you got to people are super hypocritical, man. Like, and that goes back to my earlier point, whereas they're self-serving. Whatever, this is how I feel, and that's what matters. And my argument, my stance changes or fluctuates depending on the how I'm feeling about a particular subject. And as far as Colin Kaepernick, man, I do wish him the best, man. I hope he bounces back, and I
Yeah,
really
me
think that
too.
he can bounce back, and that he will get a job in NFL if he chooses to. But he's doing a lot more good for the world right now. You know what I'm
Right.
saying? And
Hmm.
what Colin is trying to do is an amazing thing, man. And I definitely salute you, brother. I salute that man for being someone who is like, nah, like these are my values. This is my integrity, and I'm sticking to it no matter what. And there's
Right.
power in that. And more people will see that, and because he's still flourishing. he's still a very rich man, and he's still making connections, and there's still people out there that support him, and there's brands that are still going to sponsor him and give him money because they do appreciate what he's doing. So, once he bounced back and people see the bounce back, that'll inspire, like you said, that'll inspire more people to like, all right, I can do this. I can speak out, and it's not as bad as I think.
Right.
You know what I'm saying? The ending won't be as bad as I think. You see Dave Chappelle bounce back with his Netflix specials. You're like, okay, it's not as bad as I thought. You know what I'm saying?
Right.
So that's key.
That's true, 100%. And the last thing about Colin Kaepernick, another point I wanted to make real quick was that, the man just felt like the country that he lived in was not being represented correctly. That's why he chose not to reverence the Pledge of Allegiance. That's all right. So I mean, I just wanted to throw that out there, man. We have the right to do that. So, but yeah, man, salute to Colin Kaepernick, man. You know, um, I'm sure he's inspired many. So, shout out to him. Shout out to him.
Most definitely.
Yeah, I definitely, this that's a very sensitive topic, and it's a very true topic. Like, Black people in this country, we are discriminated against. We are stereotyped. We are being oppressed, and we just got to keep fighting. And we can't forget about that. We are afforded a lot of luxuries in this country, and a lot of things are. This is the best position, maybe the best country to be in as a Black person in terms of upwards progression. But imagine how good it would be if there was nothing, if we had keys to unlock all 6 doors, not just 5, not just 4. If we were given, the same starting point as our counterparts of other races, what I'm saying? Imagine how much better this country would be with the things that we can bring to this country. You know what I'm saying? So, as long as we keep fighting the fight, I'm gonna keep fighting the good fight. I know you brothers gonna keep doing it. And hopefully we inspire some youth, man, to do the same.
Yeah, man. That's why, that's why I believe these celebrities, man, and Army is amazing to see you climb, and when you reach that status, the even higher status that you are even at now, that you continue to speak out, because we need people, these celebrities and people on these platforms to speak out and be a voice for those who that wouldn't otherwise be heard. But yeah, man, we appreciate you, Army, and man.
Oh man, and you know what? Who came to mind? I know we're wrapping this up, but like another thing, we don't have that Spike Lee era anymore.
Oh yeah, that's true.
And
man.
that whole era of television and movies at that time, like totally.
Oh yeah, they made a statement, man.
It's coming back, brother.
Yeah, man.
Back. It's coming back, and even if I got to champion it, and if I got to be the leader of this movement, it's gonna make a comeback.
Okay.
Speaking of which, I want to plug. Take a second to plug.
Yeah,
absolutely.
Black and Blue, which is a film that I'm having a film premiere for on June 30th at the Light Factory, and it was my first story that I wrote that kind of delved into these issues of social injustices. It's called Black and Blue because it revolves around a Black police officer. So he's Black and he's also blue, and he has to deal with the impact of being a police officer in a Black community as a Black man, and also then going to work and have to deal with a partner that's a little more stereotypical than most, and how he deals with these two worlds and how he's able to blend in and blend out between the two, and then bridge that gap and bring them all together by the end of the story. So if you're into great movies and great film, I suggest you guys come out to the Light Factory, June 30th, Charlotte, North Carolina. Be on alert. I'm having a double feature premiere, The Contract as well as Black and Blue, and also a special sneak peek of the feature film that I'm writing, Summer of Justice. So guys, be on the lookout. Hope to see you all there.
Plug your social media so people can, if you want them to follow you or not,
Oh, for sure. You can catch me at Armie_strong, and that's ARMIE_strong. You can catch me on Instagram, Twitter at those handles. You can catch me on Facebook, just Armie Hicks. Snapchat as well, underscore strong. So you know, I give a lot of updates on my life and when I'm on set and the things I'm going through, my ups, my downs, and you really see what it's like to follow an up and coming black man on his journey into Hollywood, man. So I implore you guys to give me a follow.
Oh yeah, and you should follow him because he's got a lot of hot women on his Snapchat and his Instagram stories. I follow him and I'm like, oh, like I mean, like 20 women at once. Like what? I need some of them gigs. You know what I'm saying? So definitely his stories are lit. So
It's lit.
It's lit, man. Yeah, Armie, we're gonna try to be there for your premiere, man.
okay,
For
Sure.
sure.
Yeah.
You got Black Dev making a cameo, so y'all better come out.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying? Makes a cameo, man. So let's do it.
Also, with that being said, we also want to shout out Team Parameters on Snapchat. I neglected to mention that earlier too. We are now on Snapchat. Follow us on Team Parameters on Snapchat.
Yeah.
Also, ladies and gentlemen, don't forget parameterscast.com, Instagram, Facebook, Twitter. We appreciate you. We love you. Continue to support. Everything's looking good. Episode 4. Thank you for allowing us to get this far.
And you're podcasting with the best. Peace.
Peace and love.
Peace. Hey, thanks you guys, man, for having me on.
No problem,
No
bro.
problem,
Thank
man.
you, bro.